All right, today we're gonna go car shopping. So my daughter turned 16 recently, and she's in the market for a quality used vehicle. So we've looked at, I'd say probably 3 cars so far. Test driven a couple. I think the first one we looked at was a Honda Pilot, but that one was pretty rusty. Being in the snow belt here, that's something you got to watch out for. So we passed on that one. Plus, it was pretty high miles. It had like 150,000 miles, which was a bit more than what I was wanting. So then we also looked at a Toyota RAV4. I think it was maybe like a 2008 RAV4. The guy was asking $5,000. I think it had like 130,000 miles on it. We drove that. It was pretty rough, a little bit of rust. Tires were bald. The brakes weren't great on it when we test drove it. It was red. Meredith doesn't like red, so we passed on the RAV4. We also drove actually the same guy had I think it was like a 2014 Buick Encore, like 90,000 miles on it or so. I think he was asking like $8,000. And we ended up test driving that, but it was just a little bit too small for what we wanted. So we have it pretty much narrowed down now to 3 models that we're interested in, either a Toyota RAV4 or a Honda CR-V or a Subaru Forester. So my son's first car that we bought for him when he was 16 was a green 2009 Subaru Forester. I think that one had maybe 130,000 miles on it or something when we bought it, which we bought that through a coworker of my wife's sister, and just goes to show the importance of networking. Her daughter had a Subaru Forester that was just sitting there and basically been sitting in their yard for the past, 9 months or a year or something. So we went and looked at that and got a great deal on it. And that was a really good car for my son. So we started looking again for the Subaru Foresters. We're pretty fortunate to have an excellent mechanic that specializes in Subarus in our area. And he's an old friend of mine from my childhood even. So we know a good mechanic, which is helpful. So we put the word out that we were starting to go car shopping, and through a friend of a friend, we came across, you'll never believe it, another green 2009 Subaru Forester. So we're going to look at that right now. We were at a high school basketball game here this past weekend, and ran into the owner of the dealership. So since it's a friend of a friend, we got on his website and kind of told him we were interested, and he said he'd give us a great deal on the car because he's had it for about a year or so sitting on the lot. So I think we're gonna like it based on the pictures, but we'll see. So as we go and we look it over, thought maybe it'd be helpful to explain some of the things that we might be looking for on this particular car. So he says it has brand new tires. So you certainly want to check tread depth on the tires and things like that. So that's encouraging that it's gonna have good rubber on it. With these Subarus too, common issue with that boxer engine that these Subarus have is just regular maintenance item is the timing chain in the engine. This Subaru, I think it's right around like 120,000 miles, maybe a little bit less, somewhere in the 100-teens. So we're gonna ask about the timing chain, see if that's been replaced. If not, it's not a huge deal. We had that done on my son's Subaru, and it wasn't that expensive really to do that. I think when you're in there and you're doing that, you also want to do I think they do like the valve cover gaskets too, because those have a tendency to leak oil. Other things on these engines is head gaskets. So want to see if there's any indication of head gasket failures. Sometimes you can check, like when you pop the hood, you can look at the oil fill cap, see if there's any discoloration or anything that would indicate maybe they're getting any coolant in the oil. Similarly, you can look at the surge tank where the coolant goes, see if there's maybe any like oil residue or anything like that in there. We'll take it for a test drive today. We'll see how that goes. It's 21 degrees Fahrenheit here today, which is not very warm, not the best kind of weather to go car shopping. But we'll take it for a test drive, see how the engine sounds, make sure everything works inside. Things like, if it's got power windows, make sure the power windows work, the cruise control, the heater, the air conditioning. I know in my son's car, the air conditioning stopped working. We would charge it, and about 2 weeks later, it would stop working. We just kind of sucked it up for a while on that one and dealt with it, but definitely want to check the AC, make sure it's cold. And then just the body. I talked to the guy who does our inspections and brake work and mounts tires and things for us yesterday. When I told him I was interested in this vehicle, he said he doesn't like Subarus, but so be it. So he's a Ford guy, so take that for what it's worth. So he said that probably the biggest thing you want to watch out for from the body perspective is look for rust, especially where we live. They're going to rust out back around the rear wheel wells, just in front of the rear wheels is one area where that unibody construction has a tendency to, salt and crud will sit in there and rust it away. So that's one area that we'll be focusing on. So, all right, well, we're getting pretty close to the dealership right now. So we'll show you some pictures of the car when we get there. Start your engines! That's a weird noise.
A few moments later.
That's a bummer.
All right, we made it back to the house. We took the car for a test drive. Some initial thoughts. It was okay. You have to kind of temper your expectations when you're used car shopping because, it does have a lot of good things going for it. It's got 4 brand new tires, which is fantastic. We're really excited about that. The body looks like it's in really nice shape. I just found one spot in the driver's side door where there was a little bit of rust starting on the kind of the front part where the metal folds over at the front edge of the driver's door. There was a oil leak under the hood. that would definitely have to be fixed. At least I think it was an oil leak. I don't know. The mechanic that was there working said that he thought it smelled like brake fluid, but I can't imagine brake fluid coming from where the smoke was coming when we parked the thing. The loud noise that we heard when we started it up, that went away pretty quickly. So I think that was just from sitting for so long. We did find 2 mouse nests in the car, which is concerning. Not so much just from the mice themselves, but there's a tendency for mice to chew wires. I didn't notice anything electrical wrong with it, so that might not necessarily be a concern at all. But still just kind of grossed out by the mouse nests in the back. They were in the back by like where the spare tire is. When we were driving it, we did notice that the traction control light was on. Basically the light that turns off traction control was on, and there's a button on the dash that cycles that on and off. When I pressed the button, nothing really happened, so that is probably something that needs to be looked at. We did see a light for low tire pressure, but being so cold out and given that it's sat for a while, that's not really a concern. I think that's probably tires just need air, and that's not a big deal at all. So overall, I asked Meredith after the test drive, like, what did you think? And she's sort of like, well, it's okay. So not sure where we're going to end up as far as whether we're going to make an offer on it or not. We're not in a super big hurry right now to buy a car, so we're still kind of in that phase of, well, maybe we'll see what comes along. So we're gonna sleep on it, and that'd be my advice to you: is if you're shopping for a used car, usually you don't have to jump right into it, especially in this case where we know it's been sitting there for probably the better part of a year anyways. Because let's be honest, it's not a real sexy car that is in super high demand, but to me it could be a really good first car for Meredith. So thanks for coming along today on our car shopping adventure. It was fun to have you along, and stay tuned in the comments. I'll let you know if we end up buying it or not. But let me know in the comments. Let me know if there's anything that I missed that maybe a tip for used car shopping that you want to share with everyone else, because together we can build success.